Fall of 2020 was a surreal season. We'd already spent half a year in lockdown, and I'm a house cat, so I was holding up with holding up. But I wanted some interaction. And since I used to spend all my weekends running debate competitions, I was going through some rhetoric withdrawals. As I perused my options, one jumped out at me: the IPDA. Over the last 4 years, I've gotten to know it, and with full respect to Toastmasters, it's probably the best public speaking professional development opportunity you've never heard of. Welcome to the Talk Public Speaking Podcast. This is episode 9, the International Public Debate Association, Part 1. The IPDA was founded in 1997. It's a debate league. Its goal is to help people become stronger advocates. While IPDA, the debate category, is popular in plenty of colleges, especially in the American South and West Coast, this league is concentrated in the Deep South. The schools at its national championship came from 19 states: Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Florida, Idaho, Illinois, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Nevada, North Carolina, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, and West Virginia. Policy debate is one of the most research-intensive formats in the activity. The debates last over 90 minutes, and the debaters are coached to capitalize on every second they have. So you see a lot of spreading, which means speed reading. They blaze through their arguments, trying to layer as many contentions and as much research as they can. Their judges are experienced experts. There's a saying in high school debate: all roads lead to policy. As debaters get more experienced, and as judges become more familiar with arguments, competitors realize the value in spreading their opponents out of the round. That means speaking so quickly that while the judges can follow along, their opponents might miss key arguments and make unforced errors. Top-level policy debate rounds are amazing. Competitors speak with such speed, strategy, clarity, and cohesion that the clash of arguments would put any congressional hearing to shame. But mismatched policy rounds are painful. One team might know the jargon and shorthand, and the other is completely out of their depth. The IPDA League goes out of its way to stop policy norms from taking root. They do this by emphasizing 3 things. First, they change topics every round. Competitors are given 5 options. The negative gets rid of one topic, the affirmative gets rid of the second, negative gets rid of the third, and the affirmative chooses which of the last 2 they want to defend. Let me give you an example. Here's 5 topics. 1. Humanity would not survive an alien invasion. 2. The order of the arrow ought to be replaced. 3. The United States should nationalize broadband. 4. The United States federal government should eliminate funding for PBS and NPR. 5. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Maya Angelou. Which topic would be the easiest for the affirmative to prove? What about the easiest one for the negative to disprove? Why? Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment. Second, the IPDA sharply limits the amount of time we have to prepare and present. We've got 30 minutes from the moment we get our 5 topics to the second the round begins. The rounds themselves are quick, too. The affirmative speaks for 5 minutes, and they're questioned for 2. The negative speaks for 6 minutes, and they're also questioned for 2. Then the affirmative gets 3, The negative gets 5, and the affirmative gets the final 3. That adds up to 26 minutes in and out. It's not about layering on a million arguments. It's about giving yourself just enough material to get some clean contentions to focus on in the end, while also making it tough for your opponent to adjust to your strategy. But the final difference? The IPDA doesn't train judges. Many debate formats pride themselves on ensuring experienced adjudicators can provide useful feedback. Not this one. Their judges embody the man off the street idea. Last-minute volunteers, local college students with no debate experience. While experienced judges are told a million times to check their biases at the door, no matter how much they know, these judges might come in with brazen biases. It's the job of the debater to understand this, account for it with the topic options they choose, and make arguments that acknowledge both what their opponents might say and what the judge might be thinking. That's the explanation. But I want to peel back the IPDA curtain for you by describing my experiences. I debated in 70 rounds of this format across 9 tournaments. I won 58 of those rounds. This meant that I lost my first 4 tournaments, but won my final 5. I'm not here to discuss the wins. Instead, I want to share a story of each round I lost. Each loss represents a lesson about communication and competition. You'll learn how I went from smacking into a ceiling to shattering it. My first loss was back in fall of 2020. It was the semifinal round of a competition hosted by Lee College, one of IPDA's top programs. That's a community college with a dual credit high school program, so standout students can graduate with a bunch of credits by the time they're 18. I was facing a well-respected preacher with a couple master's degrees. As the affirmative, I defended the idea that Mike Tyson should be canceled. I gathered evidence about Tyson's rape conviction and assault convictions and how he treated his ex-wife, Robin Givens, how he treated his other ex-wife, Monica Turner, and more. My thesis was when someone repeatedly behaves in a violent way, they should not be celebrated or platformed. This is the sort of argument that would be well received in my Californian debate leagues. But my opponent drew 3 important contrasts with me. He talked about his experience with biblical redemption stories. He spoke eloquently about the importance of comeback narratives. He played on concerns about a culture of censorship and broadly spoke against the principle of cancellations. And he took advantage of my forceful and frenetic style. He was calm, empathetic, slow-paced, and projected a serene wisdom. He won over 2 of our 3 judges, eliminating me from the competition. The deciding judges talked about my speed, which wasn't any faster than my other rounds, but seemed too fast in contrast to this opponent. And they mentioned my camera placement. My camera was close to my face, so my gestures seemed aggressive in front of me, like I was trying to punch the audience. I felt young and strident and vengeful, while he came across as learned and patient and kind. I don't know how much of it was his expertise and how much was my inexperience with the format, but I was played like a fiddle. All my worst presentational tendencies were more sharply defined than normal. So, I lost that tournament. And I thought, okay, I'll regroup and I'll try again. I did. My next try created one of the worst results, but most educational experiences of my career. And next episode, for the first time, we're going to talk about it. Thanks for tuning in to the Athentalk Public Speaking Podcast. Please share the pod, leave a review, and let me know what you want to hear. Until next time, like always, I'm Ian Lampert, your public speaking professional.